Check this out. So I recently spent $10,000 with a company called Closer.io, which is a phenomenal company, to get better at understanding how to actually have conversations and close sales, just so I can teach it to my artists I work with and they could continue to get phenomenal results like this. And this, and this, and this, and this. Okay, I'm done. Oh, one more, and this. Right now we got the most results in the art space. So in these next videos, you're going to see me constantly bombarding you with results from artists that are just like you, just to show you that you can do it. But in this video, what I want to do is I'm going to talk about some of the key things I'm learning from this company when it comes to closing sales and just getting better at conversations. And what I've been learning so far is absolutely phenomenal. When I mean phenomenal, I mean phenomenal. And with that being said, we're gonna jump straight into it. So the first tip is sales don't have to be salesy. I'm gonna repeat, sales don't have to be salesy. What does this mean? I'm gonna use a gallery for example. If you ever notice, galleries, especially successful ones, sell quite a bit of art, but the clientele that they sell to become a huge fan of the gallery and they feel like they have a genuine relationship with that gallery. It's to the point where they almost seem like friends. I mean, for freaking crying sake, galleries would not even share their clientele, their customers directly with the artist because they value their relationship with those customers just that much. So what does this mean? This means you want to be building relationships and conversation with potential buyers without being salesy. One thing I stress to the artists I work with is I say, hey, when someone really connect with your artwork and they're interested, you don't have to sell them on it. Think about it. Anything you actually want to buy, you don't have to be convinced on why you should buy it. You don't have to be sold on why you should buy it. So when it comes to your artwork, hyper focus on having genuine conversations with potential buyers. And it's those genuine conversations that lead to the sale. So here are a couple points on how to have a genuine conversation. First, remove any salesy phrases. Salesy phrases could sound like, do you want to buy it? It's for sale. I could give you a sweet deal. No one likes phrases of this nature because it sounds like every other salesperson. So what you want to do in conversation is just ask what's called qualifying questions. Qualifying questions sounds like this. Hey, I could tell you love the work. What about it caught your interest? Now that person's gonna talk about why they love the work. Then you wanna just connect with them. Wow, that means the world to me. To hear you say that you love the blues and the purples just really melts my heart. And as you start to communicate in this way, it feels very authentic and genuine, which you want to be genuine because we're not salespeople, we are artists. Now I'm gonna give you a real life example of what this look like. So let's say you're in a coffee shop and you just on your computer looking through some of your artwork. And let's say someone walks behind you in a coffee shop and they take a peek at your computer and they say, oh wow, I love that work. Is that your artwork? And then you respond and say, oh yeah, it is my artwork. And they say, oh, what made you create it? Next thing you know, you two start chatting about your work. At any point, does this become a sales conversation? No. What I like to call this is a genuine conversation that may lead to a sale. So at that point, you start building what's called rapport. R-A-P-P-O-R-T. Rapport basically stands for a means to build a harmonious relationship with a person. That's building rapport. And rapport is typically built through conversations. So when you're chatting with that person in a coffee shop, next thing you know, you may ask, what about the art caught your interest? They're gonna share why they love the piece. You're gonna say, oh wow, that means the world to me. I never had someone say that about my work. And then in the rapport building stage, I mention this every single time. Just ask if they wanna purchase. Hey, can you see yourself owning this piece? And then they're gonna give you what's called a buying decision. A buying decision may be, no, I'm not looking to buy any artwork right now, which is totally fine because once again, we're not salespeople, one, and we're not trying to convince people that are not the ideal buyer to buy the art. We want to sell artwork to those who feel it's a great fit and want to buy. So remove any salesy talk and just relax. Focus on having a genuine conversation by just asking those two clarifying questions. What about the artwork caught your interest? Once they share it, you respond. You can simply ask, can you see yourself owning it? If you ask that to enough people, you will start seeing an increase in sales. Like Lori Royce here, who sold 37 artworks in 3 months applying these same tactics. Second, be sure to ask no, N-O, confirmation questions. You see, our brain is triggered to ask yes confirmation questions, but you don't want to ask yes confirmation questions. You want to ask no confirmation questions. I'll give you an example. Let's say you're in conversation with someone and they stop responding. One thing I teach my artists to say is, hey, are you no longer interested? This is a no confirmation question versus, hey, are you still interested? Big difference. That's a yes confirmation question. You see, the problem with yes confirmation questions is that when we have to ask a yes question, our brain automatically trigger a no. So I give you an example. If I was to ask you, hey, are you still interested? The fact that you have to ask me if I'm still interested means I'm probably not interested. So my brain automatically triggers a no. So typically you receive no response, or you're gonna hear me say, no, I'm fine. It's okay to sell it to someone else. Instead, you wanna ask a no confirmation question. That's gonna sound like this. Hey, I'm just curious, are you no longer interested in this artwork before I move on and sell it to someone else? Or before I move on and see if someone else is interested in this particular piece? Now what happens is they have one, the fear of missing out. Two, it shows that you're not in need of their sale, which actually brings more interest to your artwork. And three, it gets the buyer to think, are they actually not interested? Because this is called a pattern interrupt. Hopefully you're taking notes. Hopefully you're taking notes. Anytime you watch videos on this channel, I promise you, I do my best to bring you real solid gold. It's my job to give you gems. Once again, these are some of the same things I teach to my current artists that get results like this, and like this, and like this. Okay, let's get back to it. So the importance of a no confirmation question is that it also gets them to think, am I no longer interested? I'll give you an example. If I say, hey, just curious, before I move on, I want to see if you're no longer interested, right? Now your brain is going to think, am I not interested? What was it that I was interested in? What made me get interested initially? And what happens is typically that person will respond and say, oh, no, I'm still interested. And then they will follow that with a reason why they maybe haven't responded or so. So you want to be asking no confirmation questions. Another no confirmation question that we implement at the gallery if someone don't respond would be, hey, have you given up on this opportunity? Which will trigger a no response. No, I haven't given up on this opportunity. 3, energy transformation. Now your energy is everything. However, there are a couple key things I want to go over when it comes to your energy when you're selling your artwork. One, and most importantly, do not be the overexcited person, because we could sniff a salesperson who's just pretending to be excited from a mile away. Do not enter a conversation with anyone saying, hey, how's it going? Oh my God, yes. If that's not your natural personality. You don't have to fake anything, once again, because we're only selling art to people who actually want to buy your art. So when I'm talking about energy transformation, I'm talking about genuineness. If something is funny, laugh. If it's not funny, don't laugh. But be genuine and be authentic. Be yourself. Show your personality. This is where you get the opportunity to really highlight your personality. Show who you are as an individual and be excited. Like, be excited. Don't be fake. Be genuine, but be excited, because you should be excited by every opportunity that presents itself, especially when it comes to selling your artwork. So you want to be in great energy, even if someone else is not in great energy. So let's say someone approached you like, hey, just curious, thinking about buying this art, can you tell me about it? Then you'll respond and say, oh my God, thank you so much for even showing interest in my artwork. This is actually the latest piece I created, and then you can start talking about the piece. I'm not crazy excited, but I am showing that I am excited overall, just the fact that they're showing interest in my work. And this is very important. This is energy transformation. And as you continue this energy transformation, you typically will see the buyer energy begin to raise. So I'll give you an example. I just got on a call recently with an artist who's considering joining my training, and was on a call, she was like this. So what is it that you offer? And because I love talking about what we have to offer, because I think it's phenomenal. My response is like, I'm so happy you asked. You're gonna freaking love what I'm about to share with you. So first, once we get started working together, you're gonna get access to this. And what happens is she went from like this look to this look. Then before you know it, she starts to open up, right? It's like when you meet that stranger and then you find out that stranger is actually a really cool and amazing person. And next thing you know, you start to think, this person's actually pretty cool and amazing. And then before you know it, you're building a relationship with that person. This is once again energy transformation, showing your natural and genuine energy, keeping it exciting, but not fake, exciting, and holding that energy throughout the entire conversation. And watch that potential buyer energy is going to start to reflect your energy. And this is a crucial thing. In sales, we have what we call mirroring. And the way mirroring works is typically when you act a certain way, someone else will start to mirror your same actions. And once they begin mirroring your actions, once their energy levels start to increase and match your energy level, you know you're building rapport, and then that's when you can go for the sale. 4, which is never discount, incentivize. So you never would discount your work, you would incentivize instead. Let me explain the difference. Those who discount their artwork are discounting because they just want to sell. They discount because they're not selling, and that's not you. You want to hold yourself to a high standard, someone that values their work like a luxury brand, who do not and will not discount their work. However, incentivizing is rewarding those who deserve to be rewarded. I'll give you a great example. I just showed you that I spent $10,000 one payment with this company. But funny enough, their product to learn and work with them costs over $16,000. How was I able to spend $10,000? I was able to spend $10,000 because I've done business with them in the past. So because I was a repeat customer, they incentivized me based on that behavior. They incentivized me by rewarding me from coming back and doing business with them again. And what this does is actually strengthens our relationship, because it makes me feel special. It makes me feel unique. It makes me feel different. Why am I telling you this? You should be doing the exact same with your potential buyers and your past buyers. So when someone buys from you, reward them. Throw in some type of bonus. This could be a print. This could be free shipping. This could be framing. But what that does is then turn that buyer into a collector, because they're going to think, wow, you're really amazing. You're a phenomenal person. This was a great experience. Thank you. And they're going to feel special. And people that feel special in an interaction, especially a financial interaction, they typically come back and do business again. Now, I'm gonna rewind this and go back to the beginning, because I don't want you to confuse incentives with discounts. Let's say someone show up and they say, hey, I'm interested in buying that piece. How much is it? And then you say it's $3,000. And then they say, can you do $1,500? And then you start to negotiate. That's you rewarding bad behavior. We don't want to reward bad behavior. We want to incentivize those that deserve to be incentivized. So I recommend never discounting. Discounting simply means you offering your artwork for less, pretty much for no actual reason. You want it to be a reward for why you incentivize your work, or throwing in some type of bonus, not because they just asked for it. Now, I'll give you a great example. You could have someone say, I really love this work. It really speaks to me. I love it so much. I want to own it simply because I think it'll really, really resonate with my daughter. Anyway, can I have it? In that scenario, I do think it's okay to incentivize because you're rewarding them for being so interested and genuinely wanting to own your artwork. And this actually strengthens your relationship. So if you was to say, hey, this piece is typically $3,000, but I'm more than happy to sell it to you for $2,500 just because I know you really want to gift this piece to your daughter. And based off what you're telling me, I could tell your daughter will absolutely love this piece. I'm more than happy to make this offer. Then that person most likely gonna say, oh my God, you're so freaking amazing. Here's the interesting thing. I had a student, which is Michelle here, do this exact same approach with a customer. And that customer actually tipped her because of that interaction. And that's what you call incentivizing. It's rewarding great behavior. So just implement it. If you want to repay me for the value that you feel like you're getting on this channel, the best way to repay me is to hit the subscribe button. It's absolutely free. With that being said, I actually did an interview with the artist Michelle here. So if you want to see exactly how I helped Michelle go from $0 to $21,000 in art sales, just watch this video next.